Hello everybody and welcome, my name is Ursa and we've got another True Start location map. Oh, this is going to be really good fun. You know the drill, every single civ in the game on a realistic Earth, huge, everybody in True Start locations, and I am playing as the Mongolian Horde. I was given this as a suggestion, so a quick shout to Spartax. The capital S, do you pronounce that differently? Is that more like a dollar sign or a 5 or just an S? I'm going to assume it's just a capital S, so Spartax. Thank you very much for your suggestion for a Mongolian Empire playthrough. I've got all kinds of other ideas. The British Empire, I think, is my other idea that I'm going to try, but I had a feeling that I just needed to play a game as Mongolia because I've never done it before and they always look like an absolute laugh. I mean, look at him. He's so ready with his hat and his magnificent armour, which just appears to be... But I don't want to doubt him, right? I don't want to throw shade at him, but it just appears like he's taken different shapes. Like here's a diamond, here's a rectangle, here's a circle, and somehow all of that shape, the geometry will keep him safe. It's possible. I don't want to doubt him. Anyway, the Mongol Horde gives 3 combat strength and a chance to capture defeated enemy cavalry units. Now this is actually better than you think it is, because if you use a cavalry to kill a cavalry, then you gain the chance to get another cavalry. It's actually really, really good. Or 2, now this is what makes everybody sort of tick along, really. If I send a trade route to anybody, I immediately receive diplomatic visibility, or a level of diplomatic visibility with them. Now, diplomatic visibility is something you don't really pay attention to much, but you have to in this game because you get double the usual combat bonus for having a higher level. So, embassies, trade routes, trading posts, spies, all of these things are going to be super important in a Mongol game. Printing is the other one that I always forget to get until later on. Keshik is an amazing cavalry unit, and then the Ordu is a cavalry sort of stable replacement that gives me extra movement when I send out the hordes. Man, this should be a fun playthrough. Now, I totally forgot we start with this natural wonder just on our borders. What is this called? This is the Ubunzur Hollow. Ubsunur Hollow. I like that. This means I can probably get a pantheon really quickly, actually, thinking about it. I've also got some incense, which will give me a little bit of extra faith, although there's actually not much else to work around this area. It's a pretty shoddy capital location, actually, thinking about it. But it does mean if I were to get a holy site going really quickly, because there's a fantastic holy site spot here, if I just sort of stick this one down there, that is a 1, 2, 3, 4 adjacency spot. In fact, actually, this is a 4 adjacency spot as well. We'll have to keep an eye on which one of those is the better spot. But that means I can get lots of faith, and I can get a Crusade religion going, because my goodness, we love a Crusade religion. I think the Mongol bonuses stacked with the Crusade bonuses are going to be hilarious. I'm also playing on Emperor difficulty because we know this difficulty level works. I'll try Immortal on the English one if that works. We'll just build it up slowly, and then online speed, because otherwise we'd be here for days. What do you reckon? Should we just jump in quickly? And I think I want to shift my capital 1 over to the left, but the True Start location, it feels like it's sort of cheating a little bit. Is it cheating? I don't think it actually is cheating. I mean, let's have a think though, because we've got a couple of mountains here, so I don't want to necessarily move my things around if it wouldn't help me to do so. Like if I, for instance, had a campus there, for instance, and I put the city centre here, then actually that would help, and that gives me loads of spaces for aqueducts. In fact, actually, yes, look at that, because if I were to have an aqueduct there, for instance, then it means I could have a industrial complex somewhere like here, which has got lots of adjacencies, but then also is like 1, 2, 3 hills around it, or maybe even shift it over 1. I'm not sure about the one just yet, but yeah, no, I think I'm going to get tempted to move it across 1. I'm very sorry if you don't agree with that, but you know what? Sod it. And then of course, because I'm settling right next to this natural wonder, I get tons and tons of era score, which is the most magnificent thing to happen in a long time. Let's just make sure that I am working this faith tile, because I want to get that pantheon up nice and quickly. It is definitely worth it. Now, for a whole different bunch of reasons, I had a little bit of sort of to and fro with the filming on this. Brazil, that game, you know it collapsed. It was a real pain in the arse. And then I had a week where, with a combination of being like really, I just had a really, really bad week for being ill. Work was crazy busy. Just everything was sort of thrown in on me at once. It meant that I had to record the Incan game like quickly and ahead of time. I don't normally film that far ahead, but what it means is that I kind of like, I asked you guys to name some stuff, and then it was a little bit like backwards on when I could actually pick that up, and I was a little bit annoyed that I wasn't so like apt on that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the names that you guys gave me in terms of sort of naming the cities, and I'm just going to use your names from that previous series, because, you know, that's great. I'm going to open up a comment thread on this video as well, just down at the bottom. Leave me the names that you want cities to be called. I'm going to just sort of take it one at a time and just name my cities as I get them, because honestly, I like getting you guys involved. If you give me a really specific thing, like I'm going to jump straight in with Jonathan Somers Harris. Hello. You wanted me to call something Vancouver if I ever got that far. Now this game is going to be a little bit difficult to get to Vancouver, so I am going to call it Vancouver. We're gonna say that, like, the city soon to be called. We're gonna do this whole thing. Nope, that's an S for city. The city soon to be called Vancouver. Has to check his name. That's how I was going to spell it. I doubted myself. Is that how you spell it? V-A-N-C. Yeah, that is how you spell it. So I'm gonna take your naming suggestions as best I can. Some of you guys give me very specific things about, like, name this when it's next to the sea, or when you've done this and when you've done that. I'm gonna do as best as I can, but I might just use the city soon to be called when, you know, I want to name a city, but I haven't quite necessarily got there just yet. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. So getting a religion is very important. I can get astrology because I found a natural wonder really quickly. Ho-ho! That's really awesome. I'm just going to send this guy out. Remember, we do not play with barbarians on true start location maps, because honestly, it would be an absolute nightmare to play with barbarians. The game would load so much slower, like just painfully slow. But the city soon to be called Vancouver is going to be stretched. Oh, you know what? No, you know what? Sorry. Right, Jonathan Somers Harris, you gave me a fantastic idea to call that. I'll call the next city Vancouver. I want to call this one Not My Capital. That was a great idea. I liked that one. Not My Capital. So Not My Capital is going to struggle for growth. You can see we've got some wheat over here. There's a load of sort of food tiles, but at the beginning stages of the game, until we get feudalism, we're going to struggle with food here. So 2 districts is probably going to be the most that we get. So settling out is going to be really, really important. I'm going to get a monument up quickly, and then we're going to go straight for settlers. And I'm going to see if I can get to maybe 3 or 4 cities as quick as I can. There is an easy suggestion, by the way, to increasing interactivity. I've got 2 ideas. Either I start to build up the Twitter on my channel a little bit more, so you guys can tweet me more live based on sort of city name suggestions and ideas and all that sort of stuff. I quite like the idea of doing that, so I might employ that. But the other thing is, please subscribe. Again, I'm going to put my play in like right at the beginning of this series, just so that I don't have to stress it too much. But I've just about got to 250 subscribers now, which is amazing. I love it. But the more I get, the more of a chance that I can actually get YouTube to start paying me for this, because I'm not big enough yet. You've got to have 1,000 subscribers before they even think about opening their wallets for all the sort of content that you put up. So the sooner we can get to that level, and your guys just helping to subscribe and spread the word, and, you know, it's really sweet and it's really lovely. The more you can do that, the more time I can spend, and that means the less turnover, because at the moment I've got a full-time job, which means that whilst I'm not getting distracted by Goodie huts, which I totally am, it means that when I record, I have to record around work, and that means I often have to record in bulk, which means that if you guys say, oh, you should do that in a video, sometimes I can, and other times I filmed about 5 videos ahead, because, you know, what are you going to do? So, yeah, just... It all helps. You guys are all lovely. You know you're lovely. You know everybody's sweet. What's in the Goodie hut? Wheels. Well, that was about the lamest Goodie hut I've seen in some time. Actually, no, that's not necessarily true. Do you remember back in Civ 5, you used to be able to get, like, you have found the location of barbarian encampments in the area, and you kind of just went, oh, lovely, wonderful, that's really handy, thank you for that. And then sort of everybody looked nervously at each other. Oh, that used to be the worst one ever. Astrology, not my capital. Already, it's reached its food. City is stagnating. Are you aware of that? Yes, I am aware of this. Thank you very much. But I'm just focusing on faith, just for a little bit. You can see this natural wonder is now being produced. In fact, actually, if I settled in a sort of circle around this, I might get my warrior to come over in this direction again. I can actually. Oh, that's just out of range. I could settle in a circle around this and just get loads and loads and loads and loads of holy sites all around it. Oh, that's almost tempting, isn't it? That's almost tempting. Now that I got astrology, we need just anything that helps to get food, really. I mean, horses would provide production. Let's get pottery to start with and see where it goes. Code of laws. You know what to do. It's God King. La la la. Let's go for survey. We don't have any recon units. I really should get a couple of recon units, but we're too busy. We're too busy getting monuments and holy sites. Look at that. +4 all ready. That's going to be a good site. Thank you very much. I always tend to go for craftsmanship first, just so that I can get the government plaza if I was choosing to do that sort of route first, but I'm not, is the short answer. I mean, am I realistically going to get loads of buildings? No. Do I want to get early empire first? Probably. So let's go for the early empire beforehand than now. Am I in Asia? I guess this is probably, yeah, Asia. So I'm nowhere near being able to find another continent, unfortunately, but it's fine. Oh, there's a tiny lake over there. Wonderful. And a mountain, which unfortunately means that it's blocking a lot of my places that I could get a holy site, but never mind. Oh, there's a lake there as well. It's actually a very defensible position. How someone built the Great Bath already? It's turn 10. Turn 10. Ugh. I think it's actually impossible to build that on a deity game. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we've got the pantheon now, so I'm just going to let this work what it wants. It's, well, still going to work those tiles. Okay, cool. Okay, you do that. That's fine. What could I get? Divine Spark is still open. In fact, actually, there's loads of ones still open. Could I get... There's the 3-builder one. Settler one has been gained already, unfortunately, which is never very... I think that's a bit cheaty, really, isn't it? What else could we do? Production towards ancient and classical military units is quite fun, because a classical military unit, I believe, is a horseman. It is. So that would count. Unfortunately, a lot of my other ones are medieval era, so that wouldn't really help particularly, but that's a possibility. Personally, I like getting Divine Spark, and there's a reason for this. If you are playing a slightly holy game, which I am, that extra holy site points that you get from each holy site, even once you've got a religion, that stacks and you end up getting more faith than that. So later in the game, say I got 20 profit points per turn because I've got 10 holy sites, even ignoring shrines, that would give me another 20 faith. Makes a huge difference. And then also the scientist and the theatre square, it sets you up later in the game. I quite like this, so we're gonna jump in on it nice and quickly. Pottery. I guess as the Mongol horde, we should probably find out where the horses are. That'll be the next useful step, I think. And an extra holy site. You know what? This is working quite well so far. I'm pretty impressed by all this. Do we want to change any of our policies? Well, God King is pretty useless for us now, so let's get urban planning, maritime industries. I mean, it's better than survey because, I mean, I know I can't build any boats, but still, it all helps. Do I want to work this food tile? Probably should work a couple of food tiles at some point, do you not think? Or we just not, my capital is just going to remain like ungrowing for the entire game. I don't know yet. We haven't got that far. We haven't worked that one out. Oh my god, it's such a shit capital. I mean, if I were to work that, does that actually do anything if I work that tile? Not showing me as having changed anything. What about if I change all this around? Well, no, it's growing in 6 turns actually. It's not the worst. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to do anything. If I go for granary, oh, you know what? Sod it. I'm just going to let it do what it wants. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to buy a settler out anyway. Let's quickly get... do we get Holy Site Prayers out? Or shall I get a Shrine? Got 2 points coming in per turn. At the moment, nobody else is getting any points, so let's get the Shrine up quickly. An unmet player has been defeated already. Wow. That's mad. That's a loyalty thing. That's probably Hungary, actually. Hungary never quite makes it.